So, I'm going to talk about why it took me 6 years to write my first novel. And yes, 6 years does sound like a long time, and it is a long time. It's 6 years of your life to dedicate to anything, or even to like a person is a long time, right? And I dedicated 6 years to a book. But I think it took that long for two reasons. The first reason is I just needed to learn how to write. And this is coming from someone who went to university for writing. I studied writing since high school. I wanted to write books since I was 8 years old, and I wrote my first book when I was 8 years old. So I always wanted to write. But in saying that, writing a novel takes a lot of very specific skills. It is not easy. It's a very difficult thing to do. And you won't know that until you actually enter into that challenge and enter into that space where you're actually writing. So for me, the first thing really, or the first reason it took me that long, was because I needed to learn how to write and become a better writer. So as I was kind of going along my journey, I would write out drafts and be like, oh, that draft is not good, and then I'll get feedback on that draft from different people along the way, and they would give me tips and be like, no, current thing, remove this section or change this section here. That process took 6 years, and again, because it was my first book and my first the first piece that I'm going to put out into the world, I really took a lot of time with it because I wanted it to be meaningful and I wanted it to feel special. So even though I was writing and I was learning to write, and it took 6 years, because I was being really hard on myself. And again, I wanted my first book to be special. So that's the first thing, or the first reason it took me 6 years. The other reason is I don't think that rushing books is something that you should do. Like books, you should always think about it like it's the long game. You know what I mean? You don't, just because you put out a book today doesn't mean it's going to be successful, meaning sales-wise successful today. It likely won't be, right? So I think if you could take your time to create quality work, it's always going to pay off on the back end, right? So I had that in my mind as well. Like I was writing for forever. That's how I think about it. Like I want my book to live much longer than I do, right? Like we still read stuff from writers and authors 500-600 years ago, even longer in some cases, you know? So for me, I think just taking my time and not being impatient with the process was really, really vital for me, and it's another reason why it took me 6 years. And I would say to anyone who feels pressured or feels rushed right now, just slow down. Like it's not going anywhere. You know, like this opportunity that you think is just flying by you, trust me, it's not flying by you. I'm not saying procrastinate, I'm saying make progress, yes, but really take your time and don't feel rushed and don't feel pressured into putting something out just because you feel like 2 years have gone by, 3 years have gone by, 6 months have gone by, whatever the case. I've met authors who have not gotten published or have not gotten a #1 book till they were 49, 50 years old, right? So it really doesn't matter about age, it doesn't matter about time, it matters about when you feel like this project is ready to go. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe wherever that subscribe button is going to be. If you are a writer who is in the process of writing a book, also let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And check out our next video.